It's Ellie.
And it's Liv. Next.
Restart that. Everything is happening.
What?
When?
Now.
Right now.
Ugh.
Cheers.
Whew. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun and you don't sleep.
So Liv and I actually have done a lot to make this podcast work because we got back from Seattle on Monday night. Liv immediately flew to Detroit. She just landed. I have a flight at 7 a.m. going to Austin. So this was literally the only time.
I actually feel like we're real life podcasters with the schedule that we have.
It's just been a whirlwind of events, but we wanted to record this as soon as possible. So
we didn't forget any of our
the memory of Seattle was
amazing. That actually, I've been at O'Hare Airport 3 days in a row, walked through the same hallway 3 days in a row. I'm exhausted, but the memory of Seattle just gave me some life back.
All right, the consensus, guys, was we love Seattle.
I love Seattle.
We absolutely loved it.
I can see why people were like, don't go there. Like, one girl literally commented, it smells like piss. And, like, I can see why one would think that. Because the downtown Seattle isn't, like, the best place to be. But there is magic in some of those spots. It's more so, like, the surrounding areas of Seattle that were really great. And we literally saw everything.
We took public transportation up and down the roads of Seattle for 3 days straight. We really maximized our time there, and so we got to explore a ton of different areas. It's very similar to Chicago, where they have small little neighborhoods that are a part of the overall Seattle.
On the outskirts, like Queen Anne or Finney or Green Lake.
We stayed in Finney.
Yeah, we stayed on Finney Ave with our 2 dogs for the week.
I honestly miss them.
They were the best. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard us talk about this before, we stayed for free at Mike and Andrew's, who we met when they picked us up from the airport. And then they brought us home to their apartment, gave us keys, showed us their dogs, and we were set. Both of us flew from the city of Chicago to Seattle for less than $15. I had like points because I travel for work. Yeah, so I only paid $5, and that was the price of the L ticket to the airport. And I think Ellie paid $15, which was the price of her snack pack on the United flight.
It was really good. It was like Gouda spread and crackers and jam. It's kind of a random array
I've had those. It's pretty
snacks,
good.
But
it's my favorite meal.
It hits when you're hungry.
Yeah.
So anyways, we flew in, got picked up, which was huge because the Uber would have been like $90. We can kind of weave our ins and outs into our storytelling, I think.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And so we were going up to the car and we were like, wait, what are we doing? We're getting in a total random stranger's car.
Like, also, as we were landing, I turn on my phone and Mike has shared his location with me. I actually wonder if I still have it. I'm gonna look. Are we like friends?
Wait, did he keep it?
No, he turned it off.
So that kind of segues into my in because we were a little bit scared, but my in is finding something in common with every single person that you talk to because it just creates a wonderful relationship from the get-go. So we got into the car and immediately we find out they're going to a music festival. And we discovered we both like the same DJs. And from there, it was smooth sailing. I felt like we were besties.
Yeah.
We both loved Grey's Anatomy. We made a lot of Seattle Grey's Anatomy jokes.
They gave us so many good tips for places to go to get the Grey's Anatomy experience. We also learned that Seattle Grace, where Grey's Anatomy is filmed, is not actually in Seattle. It's in LA. So that was kind of a knife to the heart.
On the plane ride there, I talked to a lady who was so excited that we were going to Seattle, and she immediately called her friend when she found out what we were doing and that we just picked this city out of a hat. She told us to avoid the Pioneer Square area at all costs, which turns out was exactly right where we were staying for the night. And then she said, don't walk alone at night, which...
Check, did it.
We did.
Multiple times.
But we were safe about it, and we understand why you probably...
Shouldn't.
We had the best seafood ever. I learned there's different kinds of oysters. I didn't really know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, we learned
there were some chunky oysters, let me tell you that. And they were weird, but you know, when in Seattle, you got to try it all.
And then we ended up finding a small, what was it, an Irish pub?
Yeah, Owl and Thistle. Very, very divey bar. We had the whole back room to ourselves until the bartender came back and he was looking around and we were like, hey, hi. And he's like, oh, just keep playing pool. I'm just looking for some sleepers, implying that like people will just hide out in the restaurant and like fall asleep and he has to kick them out.
The 2-hour time difference kind of set us off because we wanted to make the most of our first night, but we're 2 hours behind. So we ended up going to bed at 1, but it was really 3 a.m. our time in Chicago. So we were really tired when we woke up, but we decided to attack the day. So we got up super early and it was a beautiful day, contrary to what everyone told us about the weather and what to expect. We honestly had perfect weather the entire time, which was great. We walked down by the waterfront, we saw the Ferris wheel, and then we went to the Pike's Place Market, which I would recommend to anyone going to Seattle to go see at least once.
But like you only really need like 10 minutes there. It's nothing crazy.
There's just a ton of different
like markets,
stands, but everything's pretty expensive.
Well, you can also get stuff for free. Like Ellie and I were just walking around and people were handing out grapes. We got a crab leg for free.
He goes, do you want a sample? We go, sure. And he snapped a huge crab leg off of a huge snow crab, cracked it in half with his bare hands, and then pulled out the crab. And it was like 10 a.m.
It was amazing. That was my breakfast.
The first thing we ate was just some thick snow crab, and it was delicious.
Yeah. And then we passed the ferry, and we were like, that's calling our name. So hopped on the ferry. Not really sure where we were headed or what we were going to do there. Get off the ferry, and we're literally in this magical fairyland, like literally built for magical, mythical creatures. Everything was green, and there were flowers, and everyone was calm, and everything just smelled amazing. I don't think I've been anywhere like this. It was magical, and it reminded me of all these different climates. I turned to the left and I could see the ocean. Then to the right, it was a forest. And I felt like I was back in Costa Rica in the jungle. And then you enter this little town and there's all these little shops and wineries and restaurants. And it was probably like my adult version of Disney World. I loved Bainbridge Island. It was beautiful.
It was so beautiful. We also discovered that you have to go super far away if you want to see orca whales, unfortunately. But they are there on occasion. No one has ever really seen them in Seattle, so don't get your hopes up on seeing orca whales because I had mine up. But yeah, the Bainbridge Island day trip was one of my favorite parts of the trip, so would definitely recommend that to anyone going there.
After Bainbridge Island, we head back to take care of the dogs, and we decide it's Friday night, like, let's pop off. We're exhausted, but we're like, it's our first night in Seattle. I think the Timberwolves are playing. So we go to a few different spots, end up at the diviest little sports bar called The Dock. Horrible. Well,
dude, the server was so weird. And like, we try to make something in common with everyone that we meet, but this just was not hitting. From the second we started talking to him, he hated us. I don't know why.
I go, okay, we'll take 2 espresso martinis. He goes, have you ever had those before? Like, I was sitting there like, huh? Do I look like I'm 12?
And then we asked for some fried pickles, and then he just like stood there staring at us for like a few seconds, and we were like waiting he was like, are you gonna give me a card to put down for the order? And we were like, oh well, you didn't ask for that, so we didn't know that's what you were waiting for. When
he was giving us sass, I gave him sass back. I was like, so why is this place called The Dock? He goes, because it's on the water. I don't see any water.
Liv goes, well, it's not.
And then he hated us even more, but I got my little revenge.
Yeah. And then this super creepy man, he like had his hood up and was like across the bar, not facing us. And the bartender comes over so obviously pissed. He's like, the guy over there wants to buy you guys drinks.
Like
what do you want?
He was using this waiter or the bartender as like an intermediary to send messages between us.
And then we turned around, we're like, oh, who? And he wasn't looking at us at all. Like he was still like.
Also, I'm in arm's reach from him. Like my back is here, his back is here. So we're like perpendicular to each other. So me and Ellie, because I feel like if someone's going to buy you a drink, you typically look over and you're like, hey, like, what's up? Like, I don't know, just to be kind.
Yeah.
He didn't look our way. The drinks come over And then I yell, "Thank you." Like, he's sitting right there. And
he was like shocked. He goes so surprised.
He goes, oh, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
And when the bartender told us, he said it super loud in front of both of us, and the guy just didn't turn around.
Yeah.
So that was weird. But
and then he gets up real close to me. He goes, "So I'm growing out my mustache." And I was like, "All right." He goes, "What do you think of it?" I was like, I literally just did not want to give him the satisfaction. Like, he definitely was just looking for someone to be like, "Oh, it looks really good on you." I don't know what the fuck, but I didn't want to give him that satisfaction. So I was like, "Well, do you like it?" And he was like, "Well, I'm asking for your opinion." I go, "I don't really care. Like, if you like it, then go with it." And he just obviously was not satisfied with that answer.
But then he still offered to pay our entire tab at the end of the night. So
I said no. So Ellie and I wanted to check out another bar. And
before we left the little neighborhood area we were in.
Yeah, so we're walking around and we realize we have to cross this bridge to get there. We're like, "Oh, this is so pretty. Like, we could see the entire skyline of Seattle." We're pretty tipsy. All of a sudden I hear like an alarm going off. It's like kind of like when a train's coming. Yeah. And I look at Ellie and we're both like, "Does this mean we have to leave?" Like,
we have no clue what's going on.
Like, we're like halfway off on the bridge. We're like, do we just keep going? Do we like run back? All of a sudden, like, the little pedestrian sidewalk gate starts dropping, and so we're like skirting off as quick as we can to get past this gate because I don't know why we're getting trapped. Next, we like just made it. The second the gate like is down, the bridge just starts climbing, and me and Ellie are looking at this, and we're not talking, but we're thinking the exact same thing. We're just imagining ourselves on that bridge, and like as it's going, I'm like, "Oh, okay, like we would have been fine. Like we could have held on to that. Like it's not that steep." And then we're like, "Okay, yeah, that like looks a little tough."
High.
Like, ooh. Oh. And then all of a sudden it's like literally straight up, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know if my arms are strong enough to like carry me through that." Like, "Oh my God, we almost died." And we were both thinking this like at the exact same time, but in our own heads independently. And after it goes down, we look at each other and we're like, "Whoa, we would not have survived." Literally just
and it was fully vertical up in the air.
Yeah.
So we would have, if we stayed on there, we would have had to been hanging on like this.
I would have been so scared.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure we even really needed to get off. I didn't really understand.
And the best part is we see a little tiny sailboat
roll
through the bridge.
It was like not even taller than the bridge, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was small. It definitely wasn't any new shipments of goods.
Oh yeah, there's basically no shipments coming to the port of Seattle. In case any of you are expecting shipments and they're going
anything, there's none.
Yeah,
I did notice that. So
that's just probably a result of what's happening in the world today. But FYI, if your goods are delayed, that's why.
Yeah.
If your goods are delayed.
Wait, we also forgot one other big part of day one. We tried the best clam chowder we've ever had in our entire lives.
Oh my God, I could cry.
That is my other is Pike Place Chowder.
Wait, do you remember the jingle? Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? Come on down and try some Pike Place Chowder with me.
So that got stuck in our head for the entire rest of the trip.
We're just perusing down the street of Pike Place. All of a sudden we see these people waiting outside, like forming a line. Without hesitation, we also get into the line, unsure of what it's for or why we're there.
But it was long, so we were like, we probably need to get in this now.
Like, down. And then this guy comes out with a guitar and starts singing these little jams about Pike Place Chowder. And we're like, what is Pike Place Chowder?
Turns out it's the best chowder that's ever been created known to man.
So good.
We looked inside once they opened, and the wall is just covered in metals.
Star speckling with
top
metals.
to bottom. Yeah. Like, it's like 2025 fall, 2025 spring, 2025 summer.
1909.
Best.
Just kidding.
And the best part is you can order it anywhere in the world. So.
And they will ship overnight. We haven't looked at the prices, but there will be a time that I do that.
I think this summer we're going to have one of those nights where we just need Pike's Place Chowder and we're going to order it.
Okay, so my inn was honestly kind of similar to yours. It's just like talking to old people. So, because you can make connections with everyone you meet. So on the last day there, we wanted to make the most of our Seattle trip. So we were out from like dusk to dawn, and we went to the sports bar, and we're like, okay, it's time to go back, feed the dogs, whatnot. We're walking back, and I see Tom's watch bar, and I think instantly, Tom Schwartz. That's his bar. Walk in, straight to the bartender. Is Tom Schwartz here?
Liv just made that up.
No, yeah, I made that up about the bar. And the bartender's like, who is Tom Schwartz? I go, the guy from Vanderpump Rules, doesn't he own this bar? He's like, no, Tom Ryan does. I was like, who's that? He's like, I don't know. So no one, we just should have gone home.
There's no reason why we had to be there.
It also turned into the highlight of our trip, probably. So we sit down, and there's this old guy sitting next to us. Did you start talking to him first, or?
Well, the bartender that was talking to him closed his tab out and said to him, have a great day, man, you have such a cool vibe. Like, I appreciated getting to know you.
I think I go, what are you drinking? And he was like, a lemonade. And I was like, oh, yum. And I think we were like, what brought you in? Because he was sitting alone at the bar. And we find out that he's, what do you call them, like an usher?
Yeah.
At a theater. And between the matinee and the night show, he had a break. So he stumbled over onto Tom's watch bar to get a little snack in between his two shifts. And instantly I'm like, oh my God, that's like literally the cutest thing I've ever heard. Me and Ellie start talking about, well, Ellie's theater career, which was pretty long, pretty in-depth theater career. I talk
very talented.
Very talented. Could have gone pro in theater. And I referenced my days when I was in a movie. Anyway, he then goes, you know what? Hold on, girls. I think I could get you 2 tickets to tonight's show. And we're like, oh my gosh, like we would love that. We will be there. Like, wow, that would be the best end to our Seattle trip. And we get Jamie's number. Sure enough, texts us. We get the tickets.
We're on the guest list. For laughs in Spanish.
We had no idea what it was before.
We didn't look it up at all.
Until we got there.
We just walked into the theater, and we got there like right when it started. Too.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So we had a lot of time to kill, so we stayed at the bar. So at this point, we're really excited to go to the play.
Super excited to go to the play.
We walk in, Jamie sees us. He's so excited. He was so excited we were there. He walks us to our seats. He makes sure we're like ready to go. Ellie and I are like geeking at this play. It was so random but good.
It was good. I would recommend it to people.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see it again. Is that bad to say?
No.
I enjoyed it.
It's something you only need to see once.
Yeah. And at the end of the show, we see Jamie waving at us, and he walks up and he's like, can we please get a picture? Can we please get a picture? And he was like, thank you so much for sharing your love and joy with me. This was such a fun night. Like, I'm so glad you came. And you could just tell that it was genuine happiness that we had made his day. He was so happy that he was able to share his love for the theater with us. And we were so happy that it made him so happy. And we also had a great time.
It was literally adorable.
It was literally the most serendipitous moment I've had in a while.
Yeah. I would have just gone and sat through anything just to see that smile on his face. But it helps that the play was actually good. We were invested. Like, things would happen. I would, like, grab Liv's arm, like, whoa.
Yeah. We recited the entire play the next morning, just, like, debriefing as if it was our friends on a night out.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, can you believe the mom looked at the cop that way? Can you believe those 2 girls kissed?
Yeah, like, it was like a little like love scene between these 2 girls, and it was just never mentioned ever again. They just like made out, and then no one said anything about it again. So
there were like a few things in the play that were like a little misleading. It's kind of like in Euphoria where something would happen and you'd be like, why did that just happen? And then
it never gets brought up
ever again. And you're like, huh, okay.
So, yeah.
Loose ends. Is that what you call that?
Yeah, loose ends.
Yeah.
So
that was my in.
That makes it funny.
Talking to old people. They have a lot of wisdom, knowledge. They're fun. And it makes their day. They love to feel like they're young again.
Yeah.
I think he said that. He's like, I haven't laughed this hard. And I was like, stop.
We were being our funniest selves.
And he loved it.
And at the very end, he goes, you always have a place at this theater. So we can go back anytime. Which I want.
I will.
So yeah, we saw a play, but that's not the only crazy thing we saw. So there's a famous park, and it's called Cary Park, and it is where you can overlook like the Grey's Anatomy view of Seattle. So obviously we had to go there. I didn't realize the Cary Park is literally a small square. It's barely a park.
It's like when you're at a national park and they have the lookout.
A little lookout. It was like 1/4 of a baseball field, probably. It was very small.
Not even.
Side note, we were walking up these hills and through these neighborhoods, and it was literally beautiful. The flowers and greenery in Seattle is like nothing else I've ever seen.
There's palm trees.
We said multiple times during the trip, if we were to take a picture of where we were at and post it and ask people where they think we were, there's no way anyone would guess Seattle. It at some points felt like Hawaii, but yeah, the flowers were beautiful and there were so many of them. Anyways, we get to Cary Park after going through these beautiful neighborhoods, and the park is popping. There are people lined up along the entire fence, and then we see this huge white heart
made of roses. I thought that everyone was there to just see this sculpture at first.
We had no idea why.
Why does Cary Park have all the rage?
And there's a million people standing around it. Then we see it says in huge letters, "Will you marry me?" And so it was a proposal.
And everyone was like waiting with their phones out. So I was so excited that like maybe it's going to be someone famous. Like, oh my God. Like,
it was so awkward.
It was so quick too.
And then the camera person was like 2 minutes to everyone. And everyone was like waiting like this with their phones. And then he just like walked her in front of the heart.
I don't even know if he like said a little speech.
I think got down on one knee and she was like looking around at everyone and was like, yeah.
It was interesting. It felt more like a homecoming, like, ask than a proposal.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't heartfelt. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that.
Just flaming them. Maybe that was her dream proposal.
Yeah, I guess I know where this is going.
So my out is public proposals. But if you're in public and no one really knows about it, I think that's better than having a million people knowing this is going to happen to you and already, like random people photographing you before you even know that it's happening, because I feel like that kind of takes the moment away from you.
I don't think I know of anyone who's like, I really want to have a giant public proposal where everyone watches me and is taking pictures and is so excited for me. Like, I've never heard anyone say that. And I'm sure those people might exist and good for you. Like, I don't care if you do that. But me personally, no.
I mean, again, I feel like it's different when it's in public and no one's expecting it versus a fully set up thing that people are already like surrounding. Like, me and you were a very intimate part of this proposal and we didn't even know this was going on.
I thought you were going to say when me and you got engaged.
I don't know.
It was weird.
That is my out for sure, because I just walked away from that feeling like that was just the worst thing I've ever seen. But congratulations to the happy couple. I'm really happy for you.
All right. My out is pushing your limits. There are a few days that Ellie and I
we were only there for a few days.
We really pushed our limits when it came to trying to do it all. First night, like I said, we went to the dock. We almost got killed by the bridge. We went to another bar. We went back to like let the dogs out, and then it was like 10:30 or 11 and we're like, the night is young, we must keep going. And neither one of us like wanted to do that. I think I fell asleep on the couch and Ellie was like, let's go. And I was like, okay, I'm getting up. By the time I was up, Ellie was asleep on the couch. I was like, Ellie, let's go. So we both like riled each other up, even though neither one of us like wanted to do anything.
I think we asked, are we going to do this to each other, probably 20 times.
Yeah, so like,
and both of us were like, I don't care, let's do it. Okay, let's not.
But anyway, the cozy nut was calling our name. We walk into this little dive bar full of taxidermied animals. It's pretty warm in there. I think there's a fireplace going. Like, very cozy vibes. Like, everyone there is cozied up,
cozy AF,
drinking a beer. They had like blankets.
We have no place there,
and we are like in our not like going out outfits, but we don't look as cozy.
We look exhausted.
I don't know why they served us, honestly. Like, we were literally just sitting at the bar, like not even talking at each other, just like looking so miserable,
like this,
trying to finish our drinks. I think I had like a come to Jesus moment, and I was like, why are we here? We need to leave. And so we get up. Ellie like taps the guy next to us, goes, same time tomorrow. Same time tomorrow.
I go, well, I'm sure I'll see you guys again here at the same time.
Like, what? And then the next morning we were so embarrassed at how weird we were being. We were being so weird.
Yeah, I did not like that version of myself.
So I think pushing our limits, we learned a lot about, you don't have to do everything.
And another thing that we learned was try not to go back to the same place, because there's always a ton of different places to explore and see. And I think we really didn't limit ourselves to going back anywhere. We kept it moving and explored new places. And even though some places were better than others, I'm glad that we saw as much as we did in the short time that we were there.
There's a point Ellie looked at me. She's like, so who was your favorite stranger we met today? Like,
it's so fun because
it was fun.
Being somewhere where you know
no
that
one
you aren't going to be back really just makes it so much easier to get out there and introduce yourself to random people, because what's the worst that could happen?
I think there is like some sort of, it's like a feeling you get when you're on vacation and you kind of feel invincible, because you're like, I can talk to anyone, I can be as weird as I want, I can kind of do everything because I'm never going to see these people again. And we were definitely feeling that and took advantage of that feeling. And
the only person's contact that we got is Jamie, the old man who is our plug at the theater. Everyone else, we were like, so nice to meet you and have a great life.
I think we should make this like a reoccurring thing for us. Like maybe every few months we choose another location and we go. And
now Seattle's checked off the list. We've did it. It's done.
Did that, done.
And
fun.
So many people said don't go to Seattle, but I'm honestly really glad we went to Seattle. So thanks for joining us on our special Sleepless in Seattle episode. I hope you enjoyed it and our fun stories.
I hope this encourages you to see the world.
So we'd also love to hear any other city recommendations, because I think we'll be doing this again.
100%. Give us weirder cities, please. No, never mind. I quit.
All right. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And you'll catch us next time.